at the Peterson in Los Angeles. And nonetheless, it's a great facility. I'm in the exhibit for Porsche known as the We Are Porsche exhibit, commemorating 75 years of Porsche heritage, which is absolutely spectacular. And just wanted to, come by and say hi to you guys. And if you are in the greater LA area, even in Southern California, come by to this particular museum. It is chock full of amazing automotive masterpieces from domestic to European to Asian, you name it. It's all over the place. Just amazing indeed. Hello, I just missed someone. Hello, Ricky Unfiltered. Good seeing you, brother. I know you were here not too long ago. Good seeing you. You still in Ontario at CV77EZ. My facility is still in Ontario, but right now I'm in mid-Wilshire, like at Los Angeles, at the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles, And let's see. Kavot said, thought it wasn't Tech2sday, but forgot I'm 2 hours ahead in Arkansas. You went to Arkansas for the eclipse? That's hardcore, Kavot. For those of you who don't know Kavot, he is a fellow engineer, hardcore enthusiast, building this wonderful Corvette that he's electrifying, which is amazing. And he's in Arkansas right now to, I can see the eclipse that happened yesterday in full glory. I didn't see the totality. I did not. I saw a partial in Los Angeles. The team and I were at the shop, and then I used Jonathan's helmet to be able to view up, and I saw the partial eclipse. But I saw some videos online with how it was in its totality, and it was absolutely spectacular. Hey there, Jamie. Jamie's on YouTube. I'm also doing YouTube Live and also recording through our podcast network. So if you're on Spotify, if you're on Google Podcasts, Podbean, you name it, just do a search for Bisimoto, will come up, and you'll be able to listen to interaction, whether you're using loo, working out, traveling, whatever the case may be, you're good to go. How are you, my friend? Says VRS Aiden. I'm doing well. It has been a while indeed, and thank you so much for joining me here at the Peterson Museum in the We Are Porsche exhibit. The Moby is right next to me. That is the first street-faring Moby Dick Porsche, and it's a full electric, so it allows me, because of zero emissions, to be 50 state compliant here in the United States. It's the only electric car here in the exhibit of close to 50 cars, courtesy of Porsche AG, and also our good friends here at the Peterson. It's just absolutely spectacular. And it's an honor to have two of my cars as part of this year plus exhibit. The K3V was here for quite a few months, close to a year. And the early part of this year, the Moby took the reins and continued to show a little bit of the celebration of the past of Porsche and what the future holds for us as well, which is quite amazing. I see a bit on display at the museum. That's awesome, says Sonic FK8. As I mentioned, thank you so much, Sonic. It is an honor to participate here. And if you don't follow us on the YouTube channel, please do. When we're done, do a search for Bisimoto. I'm there. I put out some great content, some things that are not quite on social, but definitely for YouTube friendly and YouTube savvy. That's where it is. Oh, Jamie from Forza. There we go. We filmed together. Yes, we did. So guys, Jamie's a great guy, hardcore enthusiast, excellent driver. And we did something recently with Forza for Microsoft, or Xbox, which you can say as well. And he was just a joy to interact with. And just, we filmed this close to, Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, like an instructional video on how to really excel in building cars in the game Forza. And it was a blast. We had a great time filming in the greater LA area. He flew down, and I feel that I've gained a friend for life. So Jamie, thank you so much for being part of my life in that capacity. And I hope your children are doing well. He also has kids who are great enthusiasts as well, and I give him a few goodies when he placed an order with us recently. So it's been a great journey. So Jamie, great seeing you, brother. Hopefully all is well with you. Good afternoon, Sleeper vs. Flash 2.0. He's traveling to US from Canada, driving the coast to Sacramento. That is so awesome. Yes, we are in the Southern California area. Sacramento was a good, last time I drove, 7, almost 8 hours away from where we are in Ontario. So please be safe, enjoy. We have great weather. You probably brought it for us. It's been pouring in Los Angeles, absolutely pouring. And today we had our first 80-degree day of the year, which is so nice and pleasant. So driving down here was quite a blast. And when I'm done here, I wouldn't mind doing a quick walk around the museum for those of you who are not in the LA area. But if you ever come to California, the Peterson should be a mecca. It's a place to be. Cars are constantly revolving. If you love speed, if you love uniqueness, if you can appreciate the classic cars, if you love modern cars, everything is here. Anything that can really serve your heart's desire with anything automotive, this is the place. It's just amazing. And to be part of the Peterson family is just an honor and a joy indeed. Let's see here. Hello, Anton Martorelli. Thank you so much for joining. Carols and Pigs. Very talented photographer. Good seeing you as well. Is Red Bull car still there? I don't know, Jonathan. I will check. I just got here. Traffic was horrid. Coming from St. Denis, it took me quite a while to get here. And when I got here, went through security, got my camera equipment, got everything set up. So I didn't have the opportunity to really explore the museum yet. But I will, Jonathan, and I'll see if the Red Bull car is still here. Please check your instant messages. It says KDJSS. I sent you something. Thank you. I'll take a look. KDJSS. I get hundreds and hundreds of DMs daily. Sometimes you write to me if when I'm working or I'm busy with meetings, it just kind of gets pushed down. But I try my best to get to all of them. I will look for you, KDJ. Please hang tight. Appreciate you indeed. Let's see here. You're fantastic. It's Glenn. Hello, Glenn, sir. 8082 Fayette Street. Glenn is an amazing individual. He's a drummer. He's an actor. He's been in Tombstone, a ton of movies. Just an amazing individual. Turned me on to the 50s Cafe in LA, where they have these wonderful malt shakes, which just blew me away. I mean, it's the best shakes I've ever experienced in my life. And he's just a great guy and a good friend indeed. Glenn, when I'm done with the Rolls Royce, I'm gonna pick you up. We'll go cruising. Miss you as well, my brother. Miss you so much. Ren Sport Life, where have you been? Says, hey, PC, love seeing your cause on a stop before Ren Sport reunion. What events are you looking forward to this year? Thank you so much, Ren Sport Life. Appreciate that. Air Water is a big one. Finally, the powers that may be with the whole Luftgekühlt, setup where, by the way, quick thing I can share with you guys. I was kicked out of Luftgekühlt years ago. It was just pretty crazy. So I had the IROC Porsche, right? It's totally beautiful. It's turbo 930, gorgeous. But what I did was I impregnated 850 horsepower twin turbo water cooled Porsche power plants. Stayed Porsche. I didn't go GM. I didn't go Subi. I stayed with a Porsche power plant, but made it a little bit more modern with drive-by-wire and electronic boost control and all that fun stuff. And Luftgekühlt is this celebration of air-cooled Porsches. And I felt since the body was air-cooled, and since in the air-cooled era, some Porsches, especially 935s, had water-cooled heads, I thought it was okay me bringing a celebration of the new and old in the name of this IROC Porsche, which looked very IROC, but was turbocharged with turbos hanging out the back. You guys may remember it. I went to Luft and got kicked out, saying, hey, you are water-cooled, you shouldn't even be here. So I felt bad, so I stopped attending myself. Had a lot of customers who went to Luftgekühlt with their air-cooled applications that we helped build, and it was great. Whether it's RWB or 935, they were there representing properly. Then finally, the team, with Patrick Long and them, decided to celebrate air and water together. So to answer your question, Ren Sport Life, and hopefully you'll be there as well, I'm really looking forward to that event where I'm bringing up a couple of cars, which should be absolutely fantastic. I look forward to interacting with Porsche files all across the globe. And then a little bit after that, I'm also looking forward to, later in the year, go to Monterey for Car Week. And then of course SEMA, and I may make the pilgrimage, which I haven't done in quite a while, to PRI. So that's gonna be just a jam-packed year. In between now and let's say the upcoming Air Water, actually I'd say it could be a little bit post that, end of May, there's the local Electrify Expo in Long Beach. Toyo and I will be launching a very nice car there, which I hope to see many of you there as well. So I'm looking forward to quite a few events Ren Sport Life, and hopefully I get to see you again. Supercar Kellen, hello brother. Family is doing great. Thank you so much for asking. Speaking of family, and Jonathan is here from the team. He actually recommended this. I have my parents here at the Peterson. So my dad has never been here. My mom's never been here either. They are in the flesh. They're very proud. We took photographs next to the Moby. They're walking around, really experiencing something that's not very popular in West Africa, like an automotive museum of sorts, and they're having a blast. So after this, we'll probably grab a bite and then look forward to going downstairs to the vault, where there's another special kind of environment going on there, which is pretty nice indeed. Kovolt said there's a totality going over North Africa in 2027. Nowhere near Nigeria, where I'm from. But you could travel with family and go up there to Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia. You absolutely have to see the totality at least once. And I agree with you, Kovolt. There's so much variety in the continent of Africa. From the northern, deserts of Egypt all the way to the southern plains of South Africa. It's absolutely fantastic and beautiful scenery, gorgeous waterfalls. You can see everything from snow to desert. It's just amazing indeed. So yeah, I'm glad you shared that with me. I was definitely looking to do that. And guys, if you haven't traveled overseas, especially to the continent of Africa, you are missing out. It is absolutely fantastic. Skipper versus Flash is driving the AP1 down. Awesome. For those of you who don't know AP1s, those are the Honda S2000 vehicles first gen, where they had the F20C engines that rev to 9,000 RPMs. And for quite a while, they held the commercially available horsepower per liter record. Until I think Ferrari took it away a little bit, but for a long time they held it. The AP1, I fell in love with. It is the most amazing shifter you can ever experience on a Honda. It's just absolutely smashing, fantastic indeed. So that being said, have a great drive down. You chose an amazing, fun vehicle to drive, and I hope you have a safe journey to and fro. What is your personal favorite at the Peterson's Cars in the Wild USA? Now, the exhibit tends to revolve quite a bit, right? So not only the Porsche exhibit, but all around the museum, cars tend to migrate and move around. That may be a good question before we leave. I can tell you, as of my last visit here, which was a few weeks ago, I love my car, of course, being here, the Mobile, but the Greenwood Corvette, which I posted on my feed, and a lot of people lost their minds. It's one of my best doing posts here on Instagram. That particular vehicle was my favorite. It was just very Group 5 looking, right? Natural aspirated, 800 horsepower, did over 200 miles an hour, just absolutely beautiful, just aggressive, almost looks like a white Batmobile. And I want to build a tribute towards that with some modern technology. So that being said, that car, the team and I just walked around. I just admired that thing left and right with some of the nice details with the side markers and the scoops and the heat exchangers and the aero and the Spartan race style interior. It was just my favorite at the time. Now that will change, I'm sure, as I walk around this exhibit. But nonetheless, last time that was it. So thanks for your question, indeed. Cars in the Wild USA, who I love doing stuff with. Zach was asking the same question as Jonathan, who's right next to Jonathan, by the way. He's asking, is the Red Bull car still there? I don't know yet. I will find out in a few moments and maybe do some quick stories around that if that's the case. Welcome to LA traffic, says Sonic FK. Yep, it was crazy. Even at 11 a.m. I had a couple of meetings this morning, one with AEM, one with the guys from Puro, and it was just, I thought I had plenty of time to get here that late, but it didn't happen, you know? Hello, Dave H on YouTube says hello from the UK. Thank you so much for joining us from across the pond. I hope you're staying safe and warm out there in the United Kingdom. I'd appreciate that. Thank you, says KDJASS. By all means, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Make great motoring. Where have you been? I've not seen you in quite a few Tech Tuesdays. I am doing great. I'm here on site, I should say, at the Peterson Automotive Museum in the We Are Porsche exhibit, an exhibit that commemorates everything Porsche, celebrating 75 years of the brand here on the planet Earth. And I'm proud to say that it is the only EV here on display. The Moby X, which pays a nod to Group 5 racing, Moby Dick Porsches, which dominated back in the day. It's in its second iteration. This is a collaboration between myself, Kaiser, who's here on Instagram as well, I think on YouTube as well, and Acronym, courtesy of my good friend Rod Chung. Made this happen and this project came to life. It was on paper and we brought it to fruition. Oh my God, Jessica says, who cares about the Red Bull car when the Pope Mobile is here? Yep, the Pope Mobile is here as well in the vault. We're gonna check that out. Some really good cars. Thanks, Jess, appreciate you, love. Wait, done with the Rolls Royce? How long is it? High voltage junction box tour? Cobalt, I love your enthusiasm. Not quite done yet, but my goal is to launch it at the Long Beach Electrify Expo. So that being said, that's the goal. It's absolutely come across very beautifully. And I'm doing some modifications to the junction box, or better yet, contactor box, as you may say. One great thing about technology is it continues to evolve, and even in the house with Bisimoto, we continue to push the envelope and evolve as well. All right. Now, do you come to Ultra Race in Poland? No, Flo Topper, I'm not familiar with that particular event. Please do share, because I love anything that is automotive based, especially if it's forward thinking. I'm all about it. And it's been a while since I've been to Europe. I haven't been to Europe since COVID. Primarily because during the time that was closer to the COVID pandemic, I had to experience some very strict and stringent, how should I say, quarantine protocols, which I couldn't really explore. So it's about time I do travel to Europe. I do want to visit Poland, which would be great because I have some good friends there as well, the UK and Germany. All right, let's see here. Good afternoon, warrior fella. Thank you so much for joining. Isaac Alvarado from Alvarado G, I should say, from Mexico. Thanks so much for joining. Alex, West Coast Alex Pachanga, my very good friend. Alex and I have been friends since the 90s. He was a fellow enthusiast and racer. Has a gorgeous, beautiful Jaguar, like very nice exotic that I think he's trying to part ways with, which I'm quite sad about. But I love him very much, very good friend, and he's been with me from day one, and we continue to do great things together. What do you think is the most important thing to know in the performance industry, says Manny Mill JP? I can tell you based on my perspective is technology. The most important thing to know, whether you're still dealing with old school carburetors, flying toilets, mechanical injection, to modern fuel injection, to electrifying your automobiles, to hydrogen and other alternative-based fuels, to alcohols, is it's important to know that technology is key and will continue to evolve and allow our scene to progress. Technology is what is the basis for allowing us to continue to improve, is the basis to allow us to continue to generate revenue. Technology, whether you're doing in the cars or even around the accessories of your business, whether it's around the accounting or taxation or charging or banking, or in my case, most importantly, the technology that exists within the vehicle, it's important to know that that will continue to evolve and is very important to our industry. So that being said, many of you know my thoughts around propulsion, how I tend to love anything that goes fast, whether it's electric, petrol, hydrogen. If it's fast and fun, I'm all about it. And how I feel very strongly that hot rodding is not dead. As a matter of fact, the future of hot rodding is brighter now than ever because we have a variety of ways to make our cars go fast and fun and a variety of ways of making our automotive creations our own, just like what I did here with the Moby and more to come. The one thing that kind of, how should I say, grinds my gears, Manny, is some of the, I can't sugarcoat this, absolute hate that comes from the enthusiast community and even those who are enthusiast adjacent around electrification. That's really kind of crazy. Herman Jean-Baptiste from Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you so much for joining as well. Appreciate you indeed. The hate is really, guys, unnecessary. I did a post for the 1st of April, April Fool's Day, where I did a tongue-in-cheek post, which was, you know, an April Fool's joke, where Bisimoto partnered with SpaceX and also Tesla to really find an aftermarket solution to the booster application that have been teased to go into the upcoming Tesla Roadster. I teased that booster technology is going to the builds for myself and my clients, including the Moby and other builds in-house and all that fun stuff, will allow us to do sub 2 seconds 0 to 60s. And for those of you who caught it, yeah, many people caught it and knew that it was a joke, April Fool's joke, but for some people, they took it almost like a call to arms against everything EV. I mean, I heard it all from calling me names to pedophilia to me being part of Biden's agenda to, I heard it all, which I don't understand, to this crazy analogy around microwaves. Yeah, microwaves. Would you microwave a steak instead of cooking slowly? Everyone wants a steak, but no one wants a microwave steak. I don't know what that means. It's a stupid analogy as far as I'm concerned. I mean, should I go back and say, hey, you want to douse your steak with gasoline and light it on fire, as Sam from AM and I spoke about yesterday? It doesn't make sense. I was anti-EV for many, many years. If we were talking here as recently as 2018, and you talk to me about something like the Moby or Tesla, I'd tell you to leave my shop. I was really viciously against it. But when I reluctantly built the K3V and had the experience of how awesome this was and how it wasn't quite, how performance EV has its own unique supercharged like wine, and the fact that in California I can pass emissions without having to worry about smog, it was a win-win for me. And even though I still own a lot of petrol cars, I still don't own a lot of EVs, still own a hybrid as well, I love them all. But I don't understand the vicious attacking of us builders, especially if certain individuals have not had the experience of a performance EV at all. It's quite scary. Sonic FK is asking, are you tuned with Motec yet? Would love to have you retune the FK8 Stage 4 crate motor rated to 1200 horsepower. Unfortunately, my hands are tied by the EPA, so I have not been tuning at all recently, which is quite unfortunate because it's something I love doing. But yeah, with the EPA, they're not allowing me to do anything that can remotely resemble something that is street faring. So unfortunately, my good friend Sonic FK, I have not and can't. Lamborghini of Seattle, courtesy of Avery DN. Thank you so much for joining us. I love your Raging Bull brand. Keep up the great work. Hopefully you guys are doing well up there in the Pacific Northwest. I appreciate you indeed. Paulo Thomas Studios asking what I think of twin engine cars. I think they're awesome. I love the ability to have that two engine setup, whether it's electric motor or petrol, a combination of two, that allows for great symbiotism and a lot of fun, and they sound amazing and look cool as hell. So I'm all about it, you know? Sonic FK said you tuned already, but it's on Hyundai. I remember that. That's during the heydays when I was allowed to tune and when we didn't have agents show up at Bisimoto trying to mess with us from the EPA. Yeah, I completely hear you. And it's not a California thing. It's a United States thing because the EPA, they're all over the place, you know? I hear you're working on a special project from China, says Caretaker's Collection, who's trying to let the cat out of the bag. And I'll share with you guys something very, very nice. There's one Neo EP9, amazing supercar from China, with some influence from the UK, that yes, is at the Bisimoto facility getting worked on. And that thing is going to break the internet when we're done. And Caretaker's Collection has something to do with that. So I appreciate you, sir. I'm here at the Peterson, of course, for those of you who just joined, at the lovely We Are Porsche exhibit. And the Peterson is amazing, who, believe it or not, Caretaker's Collection is actually involved with. And nonetheless, this particular facility is graced with the presence of my parents. My parents are walking around, right over there, walking around, which, you know, they're quite excited and quite honored to see the Moby here on display. So yes, we are working on something quite unique, which is quite exciting as well, and good things to come as well. BC, what do you think about twin engines? Yeah, we talked about that, Paulo. I talked about it earlier on, forgive me. Have you checked out the new Lamborghini Reveletto? No, I have not seen it firsthand. Familiar with it, but not had the opportunity to be graced with its presence. Good day, Tech Moto. Love your name, by the way. Good day to you as well. Twisted Iron Performance, the Impala is coming along. Now, Twisted Iron Performance, guys, someone I met at SEMA 2023, an amazing enthusiast. He has some sick stuff coming. And I'm very honored to be a part of his build at some level. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but it's going to break the, oh my God. I'm glad to be part of two projects, the Neo EP9 and this Impala that's using a different type of, I don't want to say too much. It's a very unique power plant. And those two things are just going to set the world ablaze. So I'm pretty excited to be a part of those indeed. Herman Jean-Baptiste says, can you please look into 1080? It's a great comparison from high school kids and younger. I will do that by all means. Thanks for sharing that, because I really have a soft spot for the youth. Being that not too long ago I was young as well and really want to learn everything automotive, and I was shunned everywhere I went. It's one of the reasons why I do this Tech Tuesday, to share all the information that I have. I share literally everything I know with the mindset that I want to be that person that I needed when I was younger, and to take that above and beyond, because some people have challenged me like, BC, why are you sharing all your tech online for free? What is the deal? Well, I want to give back, and secondly, technology continues to improve. The technology that was in the K3V that's at my facility, or my residence I should say now, that I built as far back as 2018, is very different, extremely different from what's going in the Neo EP9 that we talked about a moment ago. Neo EP9 is vastly superior. And then as we continue to work with many good friends and clients, 10 years from now, it'll even be more. I can say even 6 months from now, it'll be more. It may get to a point where the owner of the EP9 may be upset with me that I may want to upgrade the batteries again in like 6 months because I found some newer technology that can help the vehicle become even more fun. So that being said, I am very excited about technology and will continue to share everything I know and continue to do whatever I can do indeed. LSStreetRace.com is asking, no more Honda for you? Yeah, unfortunately, my hands are tied. I'm not able to do much tuning in terms of petrol vehicles. You know, they have really done a great job in scaring many of us through tuners on the petrol side. Think of Evans Tuning. You think of the guys in Utah. You think of even my good friend from Trust Ready, Evasive. All of these facilities they're fined by playing with internal combustion engines and tuning them. And I don't want to get in trouble. It's not worth it for me. So I do have to step away and really focus more on cleaner technologies when it comes to tuning. And I'll be more than happy to help with some parts. But in terms of physically putting a vehicle on a dyno and changing fuel and ignition and cam profile, crossovers and all that fun stuff, it's just not a good idea at this time. Engineering Herms, hello from Cleveland, Ohio. Appreciate you joining this Bisimoto Tech Tuesday. Thank you so much. Trolls says, real red for you. Hello, neighbor. How are you? The more haters you have, the more successful you are. Thank you so much, real for you. I concur, but it's just, I am shocked with the level of disdain for electric vehicles. I don't get it. Even my dislike years ago when I didn't know any better pales in comparison with just the name calling and the connection between electric cars and pedophilia. And you know, it's almost like you're trying to take my guns away. No one's trying to take your petrol vehicles away, or how EVs are more damaging to the environment. It's just a lot of rubbish, a lot of regurgitation, a lot of microwave analogies, and how they have no soul, which is rubbish. This Moby, I call it Moby X. I probably should have called it James Brown because of the soul that this thing has. It's absolutely spectacular. So that being said, I completely, respectfully disagree. I just don't understand the viciousness. Or I go to charging stations and I'm being iced, where a diesel car just parks and blocks a bunch of the stations to prevent us from charging, or people vandalize charging stations. It doesn't make sense. I don't get it. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I try to even have a conversation with individuals like, hey, why do you feel this way? And they come back with more bile and vomit and disdain without any logic whatsoever. There's no logic. It's not that they owned one and had a bad experience. It's not that they built a performance EV or even drove one or sat in one. It's just hip shooting foul language. It's just really sad. And, you know, I don't quite understand it indeed, you know? Bunta9086 says, do you foresee a future where normal everyday blue collar workers can build and work on their own EVs like how hot rodders have in the past? I do. So fast forward to today, I mean, I had to pay someone quite a bit years ago to help me with some coding, because that's one thing I don't do coding. I'm good with CAN protocols, I'm good with design, fabrication, all that fun stuff. You know, I don't weld myself, but I can give guidance. And I have this great knack to be able to create and figure things out. It's kind of my how should I say, it's almost my superpower from day one. And I have seen and continue to explore EV performance. I am not interested in putting around EVs. As much as I love Nissan and the Nissan Leaf is cool, and I even use some of the technology in some of my builds today, I'm not a fan of the Nissan Leaf because it's not a fun vehicle to drive. The Kona electric front-wheel drive is a lot of fun. You can disable traction control and burn rubber like crazy until kingdom come. I love that as well. The Teslas, I drove my Plaid here today to the Peterson, which is amazing. I couldn't build a street legal low 9-second car with the price I purchased that Tesla Model S for. I just couldn't. And it's a lot of fun. It pisses people off when I drive around with a parachute and everything. It's awesome, right? So in terms of hot rodding, yes, to be able to do an LS swap style using a Tesla, Lucid, Cascadia electrical motor, being able to use an ECU and tune the torque commands as you would do something with boost control or ignition tables and fuel tables on a petrol car, it's the same thing. The funny thing is that it allows me more flexibility. I have more control with an EV setup. I can make it act like a petrol car. I can make it brake axles upon demand. I can make it a drift vehicle. There's so many things I can do with just keystrokes that will allow me so much variety, where on a petrol car I have to do keystrokes and also component changes to do something similar. So the one thing that's holding us back, Bunta9086, is our ability or lack thereof of really embracing change. Because this change that's come across with electric motors and the torque that we can be able to achieve with just 1 RPM full torque, and the fact that we have engine control, motor control solutions out there. In my case, I use the AEM ECUs in all my builds, including the EP9 I mentioned a moment ago. that allows me so much variety and so much control and different profiles for allowing the vehicle to behave differently. I want a mounted gearbox, I can do that and control accordingly. I want to have a direct drive, I can do that. I want it to start off with low torque, go to peak and fall off like a petrol car, I can do that. I want to have a torque monster that can burn tires and drift like crazy, I can do that. I want to be able to enjoy the natural sounds of the motor, I can just have it come inside, I don't have to worry about blowing head gaskets. It's just amazing. So yes, Munta, hot rodding can continue to exist even more so than ever if us as a community have an open mind to explore. And when I say open mind, I'm not just saying EVs. You can explore hybrid technology. You can explore alternative fuels like hydrogen. Recently, I started looking into using acetone, methanol, even dare I say, I'm trying to think of this other compound that I was playing with recently. It didn't give me much caloric content, but it was ammonia. It was pretty good, but there's so many different opportunities that exist out there, you know? Oh, Mikey the mechanic says your number one hater's here. I know. So Mikey gives me a hard time also with EV setups, but it's all tongue in cheek, all in good jest. And I just love having the opportunity to convert someone who's hardcore petrol head, like Mickey the mechanic, over to quote unquote the dark side. Not to leave one and embrace the other, but to experience and enjoy all. And that's my goal. And he's still here, and I love indeed. Thank you so much, the mechanic, for joining us. Appreciate you indeed. Yep, happened to my buddy too. No way, they showed up, right? Sonic FKCs, the EPA, they'll just show up. It's sad, you know, sad indeed. I like how Audi is doing the electric Dakar rally car. I'm telling you, you can't shake a stick at the torque, which allows us to accelerate like crazy. Right? You can't shake a stick at the torque of electric motors. It's amazing. Time to move, says Artec Moto. Artec, it doesn't matter where you go. Unlike the California Air Resource Board, or CARB, the EPA is nationwide. Some of the people got busted were on the East Coast. One was in Utah. The Diesel brothers, they're not in California, they got busted. It's crazy, it doesn't matter where you go. I think the one thing that I noticed that was a little bit of a commonality between all of us is that many of the shops they bust have a decent to high profile. So some of the smaller shops can probably get away with flying under the radar, but if you have a decent voice, they're coming after you. Maybe to make an example, scapegoat, you name it, but it scared me enough. I can't afford to get fined $4,000 for every dyno tune I've ever done. I will have to go back to Africa. It's just not gonna happen. Not good at all, you know? So let's see. Yo, from Puerto Rico, Capu1320. Thank you so much for the kind words. Just keep the awesome work. I will keep going. The best is yet to come, I promise. I was in the house courtesy of OTL Grayson. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for the kind words. I'm right here in one of my beautiful, most recent builds, the Bisimoto Mobi X. So much fun. You know what's crazy? Because of technology improvement with just Aero, even though this thing weighs about 300 pounds heavier than my K3V, that gets better range with a similar battery pack. So things continue to improve. I love it. Love it indeed. Hello, JSLV Able. Appreciate the kind words. Got any cars you don't want? BC says Tommy 603. Cars I don't want in my arsenal. You know the very first hybrid I built for American Honda? It is my first vehicle I ever touched that had some type of battery. Nickel metal hydride, I believe was the technology that exists in that particular hybrid. I got that to a transmission destroying 533 horsepower. I built it in 2010, 2011 for American Honda. I have that car. It has less than 3,000 miles on it. It's just sitting collecting dust in my facility. That's probably one car I don't mind parting with for someone to enjoy it. I don't drive it. It's sitting there. It's not even on display properly. It is my Honda CRZ hybrid that I built for American Honda. My first OEM build is at the shop. Clean pink, less than 3,000 miles, has a cage, sits on Buddy Club wheels, progress suspension, has a nice turbocharger on it, fully built L15 motor or LEA1 motor. Yeah, that's one that I wouldn't mind parting with, where someone can enjoy it on put on display instead of it sitting in the back of my shop next to my plasma machine, which is quite unfortunate, yeah? Let's see here. Hello, Bisimoto, says Orestes how do you say this? Ores tis pupe. Hopefully I didn't destroy your name too badly. I really like your Civic Shuttle that was featured in Hoonigan. Maybe another crazy build next. What about Suzuki? So yeah, thank you so much for the kind words. My very first wagon was the D16 Z6 I built for the Super Street Challenge, where we had a bunch of different magazines under the Source Interlink umbrella, which ended up becoming Motor Trend. And we were supposed to build the highest horsepower per liter vehicle. I built an engine that was naturally aspirated. I was ridiculed for it. And then as a proof of concept, I built a wagon which had a 1.6 liter engine that made 726 horsepower on pump gas and E85. No, pump gas and methanol, water meth injection. Blew up the internet, created a lot of technology. I built it like a big natural aspirated setup with a huge turbo. And then I just created a lot of technology with that, and it helped the community as a whole. And as a version 2, I did a K series all-wheel drive with a sequential gearbox that's still at the office. Suzuki, I haven't built anything like that, which I do like that brand. I was just talking about them this weekend. One thing you'll notice, whether it's Porsche, Honda, Ford, or even Hyundai, I tend to have a relationship with a manufacturer that allows me to build something wild that's old school and something wild that's new. Since I don't have a relationship with Suzuki, that's why you haven't seen one in my arsenal. But Suzuki, if you're listening, I'll be more than happy to assist and build something really, really cool indeed, you know? That's why the instance that you mentioned happened, says Warrior Fella. More people have become accustomed to doing things that don't require thinking and reading. Yeah, you're right. The cool thing is that and this is on YouTube, by the way, he's asking this question. The thing is that the EV world allows you to have access to a technology where if you're a tinkerer or not, you can still enjoy it. You can buy packages from us that are just plug and play and you go. And I'm working on a very good friend who I plan on seeing next week to talk more about that. And then you can also have the tunability as you could if you were someone who loves to dabble. So it's like a win-win. I think the problem is that many times we as enthusiasts in the United States tend to put our head in the sand and reject anything that is not right in front of us or that requires change. So that being said, it's unfortunate, but it's inevitable. Technology will improve, things will get better, period. You know? Really do appreciate these Tech Tuesdays. I learned so much, says Bunta9086. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. And more to come. So guys, it's a slice of heaven. I'm gonna walk around the exhibit. You can expect to see some really cool stories from me for those of you on Instagram. If you don't follow me on YouTube, please do as you leave here and look for the name Bisimoto. In the meantime, I'll have this up on all my podcast networks, whether you're using Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, you name it, Google Podcasts. Search for Bisimoto, it comes up and you can hear this in its entirety. A special thanks to the Peterson Museum for allowing me this great opportunity and hospitality around their facility. And it's an honor to be part of this Porsche exhibit. And thank you so much, Porsche, for allowing one of my creations, if not many of them, to represent the brand properly. In the meantime, guys, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next week, same time, different location. Take care, everyone. Cheers. Bye-bye.